All right. So, yes, I had to take a breather because that was a lot to unpack and unfold. And, I'm thankful that you were able to share that in, especially about the part about the, law enforcement that goes into our next segue is like, being a part of those type of support groups. Because like you said, you were in a space where enough was enough. And you have been through already the previous experience and then going into this other thing. It's like, you feel embarrassed. You feel like, all
Mhm.
these other signs but there's, other subtle signs behind that. And it's like, how could you get there into such a low place again? It's like,
Exactly.
beautiful and you have all this going for yourself, but a lot of people just don't realize that it's much deeper than that. So
Yeah, it basically took me in depression. Like when I say I wore a mask,
mhm,
when they say the mask comes off, it does. At home, I never left my bedroom. Like I go to work and no one's saying anything wrong. I acted myself, I had my little jokes. I did my job.
mhm,
But once I hit that clock and I get in that car to drive home,
mhm,
reality sets in and it's like depression. Like I was battling with why? Like this is twice.
mhm,
What is the purpose? Like, why am I even here? Why is God, why did you save me? You should save me a second time. What is the issue here? What is my purpose? Like, why are you saving me? What am I supposed to do? What do you need me to do? These questions I asked him all the time. I would lay up awake in my bed looking at the ceiling.
mhm,
Why? And not only that, now I have to deal with my kids because they're getting older. They having issues because of what happened. They having issues. Now I'm battling not only myself and now with them.
mhm,
They need counseling, because they're all messed up in the head. So not only am I dealing with my past issues, but now I got my kids' present issues.
mhm, mhm,
And not only my kids' present issues, I got sick parents.
mhm,
My dad didn't have a stroke. My mom in the last years Alzheimer's. Then I have my job.
mhm.
So it's like, what do I do? God, please show me something. What am I supposed to do? I swear I just didn't know. It was so bad. My kids would come in the room like, Mommy, you need to get out. You need to do something. You need to do this. You need to do that. I don't want to do anything but stay in my room. That was me.
Yeah.
I wanted to tell my story. I just didn't know how.
Mhm,
I was talking to one of the police officers that was really good friends with me about what I wanted to do.
mhm.
Said, why don't you do it? I mean, your story is incredible. You should
Yeah.
do it. And I'm like, I don't even know how to tell people what I went through. It's embarrassing.
Mhm,
He says, not embarrassing. It's life.
mhm,
It happened. You're
mhm,
here. You're still here. People need to know that they can survive and your story can help so many people. And it's like I wanted to do it. I just didn't know how. I
mhm.
didn't know where to go or I didn't know anything. He was giving me resources because certain police departments here in Chicago, they do have advocates or police officers that handle domestic violence.
Mhm.
But once he gave me certain people to talk to, and when I called them and tried to talk to them about it, it's like they didn't care. It's like, well, why should we get involved? The women already go back. And I'm saying to myself, like,
Wow.
wow, and police officer, how dare you say that?
Said that. Wow.
You know, so with the men, I can truly say the men in law enforcement don't care.
Mhm,
Don't. I've been on the other side. And I used to get into it with colleagues about that. Like they not even knowing I'm in that situation
mhm,
you know. And I'm getting into it with colleagues, like, we're not gonna go get this guy. Oh, she's gonna go back to him. That's not the point. The point is she called us for help. We need to do a report. And it needs to be filed and it needs to be in records. So now we're gonna do are you serious? I have had altercations
mhm,
with officers because they didn't feel that it was important. Who are you to judge anyone? That's not your place. That's God's place.
mhm,
You know, do your job. This is what we have to do. So it's it made me think twice about coming out.
mhm,
I didn't know how to do it. All I know is I just sat in my room asking myself, I done had two men try to kill me.
mhm,
Why? are you sending me man that wants to kill me? I don't get it. But I do now.
Mm.
I do now. Some kind of way I ran into Yolanda Carter. The police officer knew I wanted to do this. This detective, he worked with me. He worked my case.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, "Hey, I'm at the police department over here at the precinct. That's this lady over here. She's selling books. She was in domestic violence. She wrote a book, blah, blah, blah. Her name is Yolanda Carter. Hey, you say you want to do this. You want me to get a number? Hey, get a number. Maybe I'll call her. So he told me he was going to call me back. And he called me at work. He called me back. He had her number. He even bought her book and brought it to me. And I'm like, I read her book,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, oh my God, our stories are almost the same.
Mm.
This is incredible. And we started talking,
Mm-hmm.
and she took me to the first domestic violence event, which was an event that was in, I think, Markham or something, where we did the 5K walk.
Mm-hmm.
And when she took me there, I was kind of embarrassed, still afraid, what I'm saying? She's like, no, it's a lot of women and men. They're just like us. They tell their story. You're going to love it. You should come with me. And I'm like, okay, I'll come. But again, I'm still scared. But once I got there, she started introducing me to people. And I started listening to these women's stories.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, wow. And it's like something came over me, and they gave me the opportunity to get that mic.
Yeah.
And when I got that mic, I couldn't shut up.
Damn.
But they made me feel so welcome because Latrice Mosley, I'm not sure if you heard of Latrice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Latrice Mosley was the one who was in charge of the event.
Oh.
Latrice is incredible. She welcomed me with open arms. She gave me a chance to talk. She listened to my stories. She invited me to so many different events. It was incredible. I've never been in a crowd of people like that. And you talking about overwhelmed with tears and love and joy and support. And it's like once I spoke that day, I haven't shut up since.
Oh.
And I can thank Yolanda for that. Yolanda Carter is an amazing friend.
Mm-hmm.
And we keep in contact. We do things together. It's just incredible. She introduced me to a lot of incredible women. Mm-hmm. She did. And I thank her for that.
Good. Good. Wow. That's a mouthful right there. That is just
yeah.
I think we can say that you're here. You're here for a reason. You're here for a much bigger purpose. And in the midst of it, we cannot see it. It's hard. And it's hard because, like before you said, you're embarrassed. Like you have all these credentials, you have all this going for yourself.
Yes.
How do you find yourself? And you're standing before other leaders, other people in law enforcement, and they're not taking it serious. They're not, creating a sense of urgency to say, there's more work that needs to be done here. If you think of how it shows up at your own front door, there's your sense of urgency. So why not take it seriously if someone else is going through it in direct, proportion and proximity to who is actually affected by it, which is you. So it's like, it's amazing that you got connected with such a huge, power force and, resource, and using that to also impact and use your voice. That's what it's all is about, is,
right.
those stories that you've heard other men and women about. It's really about just saying, hey, you're not alone. I've experienced something similar, and you may be in a worse off situation, but there are resources that are available. And there are people that, sometimes they may not know how to help. Again, like you may share your story. I don't know if you also been through this before, but you may share your story and they, may not know how to help. So maybe in that particular law enforcement, they didn't know how. And so it was like, okay, we're faced with this situation, but maybe we don't have the resources that we think we are supposed to have. And then sometimes it's just, a variety of different things. So it's really good to see, different perspectives on this specific topic, because not a lot of people, you know, agree with coming out, and talking about it. A lot
Right.
of people are shunned, silenced, and they are really put down in a way to where it's like, wow, like, well, you experienced something, and it may have been a negative experience or a negative impact, but you never know how it could affect someone else by, okay, so you were on the other side of things. So how can you say such things? And then we also have to look at, different responses and what they've also been through personally. And so I think this was a really good conversation. And like I said before, are a remarkable storyteller. And I know you want your voice to be heard in different, ways and on different platforms. So how, like, do you feel about speaking, about this in a much deeper way, in like bigger platform and bigger panel? Like, do you see yourself, alongside other survivors and what you're already doing, just, in a bigger capacity? Like, I feel like that would really, catapult you into a space to where it's safe for you. You'll be vulnerable, but
Mhm.
you'll also be to where other people they can relate, and you can also heal during that process. Like you said, you're still having to deal with and juggle a lot of things now, and it's really
Mhm.
be in a space to where you can vent and just get things off of your chest, and just really be able to hear things in a way that is like, okay, I went through that, but I'm still going through this, but I can help someone else. But
Mhm.
it's all intertwined. So, and also just
It is.
putting yourself in the forefront of like, hey, I'm using my voice, I'm using my story to be heard. So what do you think about that?
Oh, definitely my goal is to be on a bigger platform. Definitely, I'm manifesting in it and I'm going to claim it and I own it. And I want to speak in front of thousands of people. And it's not just, of course, tell my story,
Mhm,
but my main thing is to get those resources out there,
mhm,
to let these women, men, and children know there's resources.
mhm,
It's just not talked about. And that's what I want to change.
mhm,
It's so much, again, there's nothing against breast cancer. I've lost family members to breast cancer, but domestic violence needs to be talked about more. I don't see commercials.
yeah.
I don't see too many pamperings or handouts. I don't see too many events. I don't see too many walks. I don't see shirts, hats, jackets, clothes, purse, lashes, all that. But with me, that's
That's
my hey, that's where I'm going with this. If I have to be the face of domestic violence, that's just what it's gonna be. Because I'm not gonna stop until we have resources
right.
just like breast cancer and everything else. Because we are dying silently.
Mhm.
There is a woman losing her life 2, 3 times a day because of domestic violence, and it's not talked about.
Yeah.
It's not talked about. All these missing children, all these missing women, all
Mhm.
these missing girls. Who do you think doing that?
Mhm.
Their boyfriends, their husbands. It's not talked about.
Mhm.
This is what I'm trying to change. We need to get more resources. Law enforcement needs to change how to respond.
Mhm.
We need more people to help. We need to have domestic violence teams inside hospitals. We need to have them in schools. We need to have them in shelters.
Mhm.
Anywhere, churches. You
Mhm.
never know who will be sitting in the pulpit, who's being beaten when they get home. And
Exactly.
it's reality. You would be surprised. You have law enforcement officers out here beating their wives.
Mhm.
But it's not said. You don't hear about it because it's kept in house. It's handled in house. No, we need to get this stuff out here. Let's let it be told.
Gotta bring.
Let's let it be told. Again, me, I'm talking. Now that I'm talking, now that I have the strength and the power to do so, that's just what it's going to be. And I'm going to keep talking until they get the correct resources out here we need to help people survive. It doesn't have to be this many deaths that it is, but it is because it's not talked about.
Mhm.
You know, it's not talked about at all. I like breast. You know how many times I've seen breast cancer stuff today?
Yes, all
Where's
over.
the best? Where's
Yeah, I think that's
we're always satisfied. That's what I want to change. We want to be treated as equal.
mhm,
Give us more researchers. Help us.
yeah.
Sponsor us.
Mhm,
Support us.
mhm,
Show us some love.
yeah,
We need that.
mhm,
That's what
absolutely.
I'm working on.
I think that's really, really good. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that touched my heart. So um,
That's my goal.
I really
And
feel
most
like,
people are like, oh, you're gonna do that? What are you talking about? I'm gonna do it. It's done. God says so.
yeah, absolutely. I feel like,
That man upstairs has taught me so much throughout the years.
mm,
I believed in him, but I really believe in him now.
mhm,
It's never been a point where I say I don't believe in God. I know he's there,
mhm,
but I've never loved anybody as much as I love him now.
mhm,
He has saved me. He's protected me. He still protects me when I walk out that door.
mhm, mhm,
Still protects me. He protects my family. He protects my husband. He protects everything.
mhm,
So I have a story to tell. My book is almost finished.
mhm. Yay.
Give a little details on that. Don't give too much because I say I got at least 4 books in my head.
Mhm.
At least 4.
Good, good.
First relationship, second relationship, marriage, and future. That's 4 books. That's my life.
Whole life, whole series.
That's
It can be on the big screen. I can see.
yes.
Yeah.
Period.
Oh,
Hmm. And if they really don't want to take it back, I take it all the way back when I was raised up until how I got in that situation. I can do that too.
yeah.
It's so much that's going on in my head that I want to do. I just need the right resources and the right people to do it.
Right.
You know how you have, like they tell you, you have all these resources, you have all these things you want. I don't, you have all this stuff dancing in your head, but you have no money, you have no people, you have nothing to do it. But the thing is, you don't give up on your dream. I don't care if you don't, I don't have any of this to get any of this done, but I have that dream and I'm just not giving up on it.
Hmm.
I'm not.
Absolutely. Mhm.
I'm not giving up on what I want. This is something I want, and I'm going to get it.
Okay.
I am.
Yes. It sounds like you're determined.
Oh,
Like
absolutely.
you're very
Absolutely.
determined, and that is in a great that.
You ask,
Yeah. Mm, that's
if you ask anybody in that family about me, they're going to say, oh, if it's something she wants, she going to do it. They'll tell you that. I don't slack.
right.
Once I make my mind up on something, that's what it is.
Mhm.
Yep. But that man in there, my husband, oh my God, that man is incredible.
Mhm.
He really, really knows how to work with me, calm me down. He just, I don't know, I guess he's part of my reward.
Mhm.
That's all I can say because he's amazing. He's
Mhm.
amazing.
Let's talk a little bit about that. Like how does that make you feel? Because I can see, it's a soft spot.
It is. Actually, we've been knowing each other, oh God, since we were 10 and 11.
Mhm.
We grew up on the same block. We went to elementary school together and high school. It's just that he was a shy kid. He was into church. He
Yeah.
was very shy in
Mhm.
the church. He didn't really do a lot of after school programs and parties, because he was, into church a lot, which was a good thing. But I'm kind of glad we didn't really hook up back then because I was a wild child. I was out there, child, ain't no as a teenager. Ooh, I don't think you want to see me like that. But I think God allowed it to happen the way it did for a reason because once he graduated, we graduated together. It's just
Mhm.
that he went to the military
Mhm.
and I went down south to Mississippi to college. So we didn't link back up until I moved back here in 2012.
Okay.
Yep.
Mhm.
So we've always known each other. We've always been around each other. He's always had a crush on me, which I didn't know. Until we actually hooked up in 2012. Like, you had a crush on me all that time, and we was kids. You never said anything. He never said anything. Never said anything. When he found out I was single, he was like, "Oh man, I gotta jump on it before she get in another relationship." And that's just what happened. But he's amazing, and you can meet him if you want.
Awesome. Oh, this makes my heart warm because I'm like, how were you able to open your heart up after those traumatic experiences? It's
Oh, it was real difficult for me because even though I knew him all my life, I still didn't know him because we had been apart.
yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Knowing that he's been in the military, we all know a lot of them be shell shocked. When they come back, they have issues, PTSD, they have anger issues, they have a lot of things that's going on because they've seen so much death.
Mhm.
I was concerned about that
Mhm.
with him. Uh, the thing is, before we made things official, we really had these talks, like deep, deep conversation talks, where it lasted for hours. He knew about what was going on with me with the kid's father because, again, all of us went to high school together,
Mhm.
so they know each other. You know, he heard about things was going on or whatever, so he knew to be very, to handle me very fragile.
Mhm.
He's very careful about the words that he say, what he does. He do notice a lot of times, like say he's sitting next to me, he make a quick move, like
Mm.
when he do that, my guards go up.
Right.
Hey, baby, that's just me jumping. I be like, okay.
Mhm.
So I have issues like that. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
My heart would beat so fast, and I'd be like, okay, he was just,
Yeah.
he was just running from a bee or a fly. You know what I'm saying? Something like
Mhm.
that. But it triggers me and it makes me do this.
Mm.
So I have to tell him, like a lot of men like to come up from behind you, hug you from behind.
Mhm.
I can't have him do that. He has to like touch me or,
Mhm.
hey babe, or make some
Right.
kind of noise, because if you come up behind me, my reflex, I'm gonna turn around and hit you.
Mhm.
And that's just what I'm so used to. You know what I'm saying? So things like that I had to tell him, which he
Mhm.
don't have a problem with. You know what I'm saying? But now it's getting more comfortable.
Mhm.
It's not as bad as it was. And now that we married, I really feel safe. Like every freaking night, he don't let me sleep by myself. He hold me all night.
That's so sweet.
Seriously. Because he said I still have nightmares and I fight in my sleep. I don't know that,
Mhm.
but he does.
Yeah.
And he be like, babe, I don't know what you be dreaming about. You be fighting. I have to actually hold your hands.
Mhm.
And he said you sleep with your fist balled up.
Wow.
I never knew that. I sleep like this. Yes.
Mm.
I never knew that. So in order for him to keep that, because he don't like seeing it, he make me sleep on my side.
Mm. Mm.
That way he can hold me, and he sometimes I fall asleep, he'll hold my hands
Mm.
because he don't like me having my hands balled up.
Mm.
So oh man, he's a breath of fresh air. He helps me a lot with a lot of things.
Good.
Yes.
That sounds so
He's an angel.
mm. That sounds so beautiful that you were able to open up,
Yeah.
or take some time, but just being receptive and, embracing that and being vulnerable in those moments, communicating like, hey, this isn't okay, So that's really
He
good.
get asked that all the time. Like, she's been through so much traumatic stuff. How do you cope? How do you deal?
Hmm.
It's nothing to him. He's like, oh man, it's nothing. She just does this, she did that, I do this and I do that. And and I'd be like, okay. But
Hmm.
he makes it seem so easy. I know I can be difficult, but he make it seem so easy. But he loves it, and he tells me all the time, baby, I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm never gonna hurt you. He tell me all the time, you would never have to worry about that. I'm with you all the way, and whatever you do, and I'm your biggest supporter. And he's always right there with me through every event. My biggest supporter.
Hmm. Oh, so sweet.
Yeah.
Well, we lighten the load just a little bit, lighten
Hmm.
comfort.
He does. He does.
Good.
Yep. So like he built me a dressing room because I got so many clothes, so many shoes. Oh God. So the extra bedroom, he's in there building a closet, a walk-in closet out of a whole bedroom.
Oh, wow. Oh.
Yeah. So he's building a vanity. This man is so talented. He can build anything. This man can build a whole house if he wants. But he makes everything so comfortable for me. He don't want anything to be difficult. Everything is very comfortable with him.
Good. That's really
so
good.
he's an amazing guy. Yeah. So he can come in and say hi real quick. I mean, you can ask him a couple questions if you want.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Let's do that.
Hey, babe, I need you in here for a second. I like that move you just did. They want to talk to you. This is my husband. Come here.
Hi.
This is my husband, Troy.
Hello.
Nice to meet you.
Hey, Eric.
How's it going?
What's going on? All right. Just doing some work.
Gotcha. Well, she has been so lovely today. Today we've been kind of diving in about domestic violence. And so my name is Shanice Dawkins, and I'm also an author, speaker, and advocate for it. And so we were just diving in, just about the traumatic experiences. And I wanted to kind of get your perspective as, how is it in this situation, as far as being able to be receptive to some of
You got to repeat yourself. Back up a little bit. Your phone froze.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. You just stopped there. Stopped at the part that when you said we just wanted your outlook on. And that was it.
Oh, dang. Okay. Yes, I just wanted your perspective on, coming out of these traumatic experiences, how important is vulnerability and just being able to be receptive to the things that she's went through? How has that been?
Hard. Definitely. I mean, I'm trying to put myself into that mind frame right now. But it's honestly speaking, in a professional manner, it's challenging. And the reason why I say it's challenging is because you can't sit back and expect an overnight change when you're dealing with someone who's been dealing with something for so long. To expect an overnight change is a catch-22. It takes time, good timing, to deal with individuals who has been through, and I can't just say her, that's why I say individuals, because she's not the one who's been through this. And I don't like to talk where my conversations is being directed toward her, because I don't want her to feel no kind of way about anything that I say. But for women who has been through what she's been through or going through what she's going through, to deal with a man who has no idea of what it's like to experience those things is challenging. It's rough and it's hard. Of course, as I said before, changes doesn't happen overnight, but it takes a lot of sacrificing, a lot of mentoring, and a lot of listening to be able to understand where they're coming from. To not just understand where they're coming from, but also to deal with an individual like that as a whole. Because we're all different. We all been through different things in our lifetime. To deal with an individual who has been through domestic violence is very, I tend to say it's nurturing to me, because it's teaching me something on a level that I practically seen my mom go through, but she kept quiet about a lot of things. But to be in an environment where women are outspoken about their past sheds a lot of light to me about why my mom probably didn't say anything back then and kept it to herself, So again, as I say, as a man in my state and in my position, to be with a woman who has experienced domestic violence as bad as she has,
Mm-hmm.
it's it's challenging and it keeps me on the edge. And the reason why I say it keeps me on the edge because I'm constantly trying to make sure that she's okay in everything that she do and everywhere that she goes, people that she's around. You know, it's mind breaking for me.
Mm-hmm.
But I try not to let it show. You know, I'm a military person. I've been through 4 wars, so an attitude for me is instant.
Yep.
Doesn't take no time at all because of what I've been through.
Mm-hmm.
You know, considering she's been through what she's been through, when I erupt, she erupts.
Yeah.
The volcano just don't stop.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not saying that in the bad way. I'm saying it in the way that people will understand that just because you're down doesn't mean someone else isn't down.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because we all are here to support you guys in the endeavors that you're doing. And I am one of her biggest supporters because I like what you guys are doing. There's a lot of women out here that need to speak up because I know quite a few of them myself who's not involved with this foundation.
Mm-hmm.
And they, but you know, everybody have their time and time takes its course on different people. So I must say that I am proud of what you guys are doing. I really appreciate the reaching out that you guys are doing amongst each other to keep each other, you know, wholesome and uplifted in this time that we are living in right now and going through or maybe still experiencing what you guys been through. You know, I'm really proud of you guys for the teamwork that you do amongst each other. I'm very proud of that. I try to support her as much as I can in everything that I can do. I mean, I don't know what to do, but I just let her know I'm there. You know, you need me to go, I go. You need me to do it, I do it. So it's something that I'm learning to adapt to,
Mm-hmm.
you know, because it wasn't anything that I was used to.
Right.
So, and in life, we have to learn how to adapt to changes because we go through changes every day. Even if we're not going through them personally, physically, or mentally, we're going through them through businesses, we're going through our jobs, we're going through them in life, period. You know, so she has a good support system on, you know, on her side. Speaking about myself, I can't speak for anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
For myself, I might not be the best support system, but I do try to do the best that I can to support her and let her know that I'm here. There are a lot of times when I kind of see her, you know, fall back into that little shadow, in that little corner. That can be kind of upsetting, you know, because, but again, you know, when you're not someone who's experienced what they have experienced, it's kind of hard for you. I mean, it's kind of easy for you to say, let go, but it's easy for them to let go.
Right.
And that brings back the understanding and the sacrificing back because now I have to be more understanding of why she's slipping back into those corners. But as a man and her husband, I try to stand firm and let her know I'm here. You ain't got to worry about that. What was will not be, you know? So it's time to hold your head up and smile and let's move forward. Granted, something bad might have just happened to trigger you to that mode, but don't fall in.
Yeah.
Look up, you know, hold your head up high, poke your chest out, look to the hills from what's coming to help and continue to move forward. You know, that's just the type of person that I am. I'm not one to see a person down and I'm going to come over there patting you on your back, rubbing your shoulder. It's going to be okay. All right. No, to me, that's called pitying. You're pacifying pain. I don't want to pacify them. I want you to understand that there's a brighter day the next day. You know, what may look bad now can look great tomorrow. You know, it's about letting go and letting God. You know, it sounds funny, but you know, this is what life is now. You know what I mean? It's this is life. You know, and unless we have two people together that's willing to understand each other when one uplift the other, that's something we need in this era of life now. You know, it's time out for, oh, I know my wife down, or I see my girlfriend down. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna keep her there. You know, I know you got attitude. I'm gonna have attitude too. It's time out for that. Yeah. You know, and that's what the world is really coming to now. What I call a bunch of Lil Waynes. You know, everybody act like a little kid. Everybody want to act spoiled. Everybody want their way. But what I want to know is, when anybody gonna grow up? Mm. When? We all can't be babies forever. Somebody, we got to grow up at some point, someday. Everybody walking around want to be 14 and 16, but don't nobody want to do the job as a 14, 16 because they want to be grown now. Mm-hmm. When you're giving them job duties as a 16 that they want to act like, they can't handle it. Mm-hmm. You know, so, you know, I very, very, really appreciate what you ladies are doing for each other. And I really hope that you guys can continue and things open up, many doors out here open up for you guys so that your names can get out here bigger. Y'all can expand, bring in more women, and really let this world know that there is a place for women who is going through this, and you don't have to be quiet. You can open your mouths, you know. And I know it sounds strange hearing this coming from a male, but at the end of the day, I want to say it, but I really don't want to. But I am a victim of domestic violence also. Okay. You know, and it's not just physical. Mm-hmm. And I try to tell a lot of people, you don't necessarily have to be in a relationship and go through domestic violence, and it always has to be physical. Right. They have violence that's verbal. Mm-hmm. They have violence that's mental. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of ways you can abuse someone other than using your hands. Mm-hmm. And it's called abuse. But a lot of people in this world who's not got it all upstairs, brother, doesn't know the differences, you know, and that's why I really hope and pray that the Lord stick with you guys, open y'all vision, help you guys expand so that you guys can get that message out there and let people know. You don't necessarily have to be putting your hands on somebody to abuse them. Mm-hmm. It could be verbal. It could be mental. You know, it could be the way you treat them. Mm-hmm. You know, it's more than just physical abuse. That's abuse. Mm. There's people out here that don't know it. And I'm so glad that you guys are coming together, getting this foundation together. Y'all out here moving around, speaking. Man, I'm telling you, on the inside, it makes me cry. Because I wish I could snatch my mom back in the past and bring her to the future now and have her talk so that she can feel better and come past some of these fears I know she has. You know what I mean? So, but that's my outlook. I ain't mean to get you the whole preaching story, but you asked.
That again is very impactful, a whole mouthful. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, when it comes to this, I tend to give it my all. I mean, I don't know if you can see my shirt, but this is who I am. So, you know, I speak a lot when I'm with my brothers. I speak a lot, you know what I mean? So that's why I had to hold my head down like, wait a minute, let me get in the mode. I got to get myself together because I do know how to speak and I do know how to talk. That's at the point when she called me, I was, like I said, I was going around the house doing housework. So I had to get out of that handman, you know, construction man frame and get over to this man frame.
Oh, well, it's a pleasure, you know, getting both perspectives, you know, one coming from, and, you know, coming together and talking about it. You know, it's important. It's important to unpack and really, you know, get into it and just talk about it. And let's just let go and let God.
Exactly. I mean, you got how you plan on moving forward if you still letting stuff take you 2 steps back. I was always trained and taught my life in my years growing up, put it in God's hand, let him work it out. Meanwhile, you can go ahead and live your life because you only get one.
Wow.
You only get one. I am one of the blessed ones. I've lived twice now. I've died twice and I'm still yet here. So that let me know it's a reason I'm still here. So with that reason I'm here, I plan to do the best that I can with this life because I don't know what life, you know, why he got me here, but I know he got to have me here for a purpose because I'm still here. It was for me. I'm still here. That was the purpose. Then I'm grateful.
Oh my goodness. I'm so thankful for y'all tonight.
1 second. I have to make an emergency run. I got one of my guys coming down right now.
Oh, you're fine.
Right back.
I told you he's everything I said, ain't
Yes.
told you.
Oh, that was so beautiful. That was
Yeah, he's a Mason. So him and his guys, they said one day if we ever need some sponsors, they'll come to events, they will serve for us, they will do whatever they have to do to let us know that men support us. And they talk to me all the time about it, and they ready.
good.
So
Awesome.
yeah.
Well, I just
All right.
want to say one last thing before we wrap this up. I would say and pose the question, what is, because I know there's like a broad, spectrum of things, but what is, I would say, one key takeaway you can say to someone experiencing domestic violence?
Anybody that's experiencing domestic violence needs to at least tell someone that they can trust. Because you can't tell everybody. Everybody not going to help you. Yeah. Some people you will tell will take it and run with it and joke with it, or just call people and talk about it, but not talk to you to help you. You have to get with someone that you can trust. Me, on the other hand, I couldn't do that because I had to hold everything within and do it myself because I couldn't trust nobody. But I had to do it the hard way. And it took me longer to heal because of that. But if you have anybody that you can talk to, that you can trust, especially if you have a close relationship with your parents, tell them and seek help. That's what I would say.
What about you?
What I said, domestic violence. I heard the question. I can remember real good. I got good. Well, first off, I would find out what type of domestic violence they're experiencing first, so that I would know what type of direction to guide them in. Because again, like I say, different types of domestic violence. Right. So first, I would try to figure out what type of violence that they're going through, and then try and guide them along the right way with the right people to talk to. I personally wouldn't try to coach them because I'm not a domestic violence advocate to give them that right information. So I would instantly find out what type of domestic violence they are experiencing and find the right individual in that field for them to talk to. That's what I would do.
Got it. Awesome. I appreciate this so much. While you were speaking, you're also speaking to me. So it definitely touched my heart, both of you. So as we wrap this up this evening, tell the people where they can find you and kind of what your next things that you want to work on, and just where you are, like on any social media platforms. That way they can kind of just come out and connect with you, and just future things that you are getting prepared for.
Okay.
Thank you, baby. Okay. No problem. Yes, if you want to contact me, you can. I'm on Facebook. I have 2 pages. I have one under my domestic violence page, which I know a lot of people contact me on it. Then I have a personal page. I'm also under Instagram. You can find me again under my name. And my email address is yjones6996@yahoo.com. And I welcome all.
Awesome. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a pleasure tuning into this live tonight. I hope you guys receive some really, really impactful jewels tonight, and just reach out, if you need any assistance. We are both here to really listen and, share our experiences. But we definitely want you to reach out, if you feel like there's anything that you're going through and you need uplifting, you need encouragement. So again, I want to commend and thank you, Miss Yvette, for coming on here tonight and speaking about this.
Thank you for accepting me. I thank everyone.
Yes. So let's go ahead and wrap this up, y'all. Y'all have a great evening, and we will see y'all again soon.
Thank you so much. You have a great one as well.
All right.
Bye-bye.